We have the opportunity today to meet one of the most fascinating people who has ever lived, a person who by sheer force of intellect and willpower bent the laws of the universe itself. But when we say laws of the universe, we mean both the actual laws of nature and the laws of society. Despite being trapped in a wheelchair, unable to move or speak, this individual managed to become one of the most renowned and popular scientists of all time. Who is this person? How did they manage to do so much despite such great physical limitations? And why should you care about them? Well, the answer to that last question is easy. If you want to be inspired and learn how someone managed to overcome every obstacle, then you've come to the right place, because this story will blow your mind. But before we begin, remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us reach more people with these types of videos. Also, stick around until the end to find out what the protagonist of this video had to say about religion. You won't regret it. Let's start at the beginning. Our protagonist was born on January 8, 1942 in Oxford, England. His birth name was Stephen William Hawking, but everyone knew him simply as Steve. Like all children, he had a lot of questions about the world around him, but he wasn't necessarily the top student. He was curious. Yes, but he didn't know it yet. His real potential would reveal itself later, especially when he started attending the University of Cambridge. There he began to study cosmology, that is the study of the universe itself. That's right, the universe with all its wonders and mysteries. How awesome is that? At the age of 21, Hawking was diagnosed with a rare and incurable disease called ALS. It is a degenerative disease that attacks nerve cells and causes paralysis. Doctors told him he had only a few years to live. But Hawking ignored their prognosis and decided to defy time itself. Although he was married at the time, his wife left him shortly after learning about his diagnosis because she couldn't cope with his condition. We don't know exactly what she was expecting, but perhaps she thought her husband would be bedridden and useless. However, Hawking soon proved her wrong. Although Hawking was initially confined to a wheelchair, he never stopped working. In fact, he published several papers on black holes and their behavior. In one of his most famous papers, he calculated how much energy black holes absorb per second. This discovery earned him worldwide recognition among the scientific community. Basically, Hawking showed that black holes aren't completely dark. They actually emit energy, which would later bear his name, Hawking radiation. This breakthrough allowed him to fill a gap between quantum physics and Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity. In simpler terms, Hawking realized that black holes must have some kind of temperature related to their size. Surprisingly, the bigger the black hole, the lower the temperature. Additionally, he determined that black holes emit light with a spectrum similar to that of a hot object. However, it's important to note that this doesn't mean they emit visible light. Instead, they radiate energy in the microwave range, making them virtually invisible to the naked eye. Despite their size, Hawking's work revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos and earned him numerous awards and honors. But Hawking didn't stop there. He continued researching until he discovered how matter behaves near the edge of a black hole. Moreover, he investigated whether or not time travel is possible and even studied Big Bang nucleosynthesis, which refers to the production of light nuclei such as hydrogen, helium, and lithium in the first few minutes after the Big Bang. Talk about a busy guy. However, throughout this time, ALS was slowly paralyzing him. Unfortunately for him, there were no effective treatments available. But even as he lost his ability to move, Hawking never lost his sense of humor. After all, how else can you cope with a situation like that? During a press conference in 1989, a reporter asked him how he manages to remain optimistic given his circumstances. To which Hawking jokingly replied, "I don't. I just don't have enough energy to be pessimistic." Classic Steve. Nevertheless, Hawking's condition worsened over the years. By the late 1990s, he had lost his voice, his ability to walk and control his arms. But amazingly, he was still able to use a computer with his cheek muscles to communicate and continue his research. He truly possessed an indomitable spirit. But Hawking didn't just publish complicated scientific papers. He was also passionate about sharing his knowledge with the general public. For example, in 1988, he wrote a book titled A Brief History of Time. Believe it or not, this book became a massive hit. It was translated into 40 different languages and sold 10 million copies worldwide. Can you imagine the impact that must have had? Through this and other books, Hawking managed to explain complex scientific concepts in a way that anyone could understand. With wit and charm, he made science accessible to all and inspired generations of young minds to look up at the stars and dream big. In fact, in 2009, he released a documentary titled Cosmos, A Space-Time Odyssey. It was based on the original series by Carl Sagan and served as a sequel to it. Amazingly, Hawking hosted the entire series using his computer-generated voice, which was then synced with images of himself recorded in real time. Even though Hawking was fully aware that he would never fully recover from ALS, he refused to let that hold him back. In a 2011 interview, he said, "The disease has been very cruel to me, but I've had some successes in my personal life, too. I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren, which gives me great pleasure. I also get immense satisfaction from my work and from seeing young people excited by science. This is a true example of optimism and strength." However, Hawking's determination didn't go unnoticed. On December 2012, the European Space Agency awarded him the rank of Honorary Ambassador, recognizing his outstanding contributions to space exploration and our understanding of the universe. A year later, on March 14, 2013, Google celebrated what would have been Stephen Hawking's 72nd birthday with a special edition of their logo. Each letter was designed to represent a wave function, a concept in quantum mechanics that describes the state of a particle before it is measured. These types of initiatives truly pay homage to the genius and dedication of this remarkable scientist. And speaking of geniuses, if you want to see a video about another one, check out the video on Leonardo da Vinci. You'll love it. So now you might be wondering, what happened to him? Where is he now? Well, Stephen Hawking died on March 14, 2018, exactly 5 years after Google honored him with a special logo. He passed away at his home in Cambridge, England due to complications from his long battle with ALS. His family announced his passing with a statement that read, "We are deeply saddened that following a long and complicated illness, our beloved father passed away peacefully at his home on March, although his body may have succumbed to the relentless progression of ALS." Hawking's legacy continues to shine brightly in the vast expanse of scientific thought. His groundbreaking research, witty sense of humor, and indomitable spirit have left an indelible mark on our understanding of the cosmos and the human condition. During his lifetime, he fearlessly explored the mysteries of black holes and the origins of the universe, challenging conventional thinking and expanding the boundaries of human knowledge. His ability to simplify complex concepts and communicate them to the masses made science more accessible and ignited a passion for learning in countless individuals. But what about religion? Did Hawking believe in God? Throughout his career, Hawking often grappled with questions about the existence of a higher power. He challenged religious beliefs while acknowledging the limits of human understanding. In his book The Grand Design, co-authored with Leonard Mlodinow, Hawking argued that the laws of nature are both the source and the explanation of everything in the universe. There's no need for a creator. He once said, "I regard the brain as a computer, which, in principle, can be worked on like any other machine." Essentially, Hawking believed that the universe was governed by natural laws that could be understood through science rather than divine intervention. He famously quipped, "Science is not only a collection of facts, it's a way of thinking, a way of dealing with uncertainty and ignorance. The more we learn, the more we uncover the laws of nature, and the less we have to rely on God or luck or chance." However, Hawking also acknowledged that there are limits to scientific knowledge and that there are things we may never be able to understand. In his view, the ultimate question of whether or not there was a creator could never be answered with certainty. I don't think we'll ever know, he said. There are limits to what science can discover. We can't see what's beyond the limits of the observable universe, and there could be other universes that we can't observe or detect. Ultimately, Hawking believed that the search for knowledge and understanding was more important than any particular conclusion. It is not that science will solve all our problems or that it will tell us the ultimate causes of everything, he said, but the more we understand, the better we can solve many of our problems. So, did Stephen Hawking believe in God or not? Perhaps he truly believed that the laws of nature were sufficient to explain everything, or maybe he kept an open mind about the possibility of a higher power, realizing the limitations of human understanding. One thing is for sure, though, his legacy will continue to inspire generations of scientists and dreamers to look up at the stars and ask the big questions. Because in the end, that's what really matters. The pursuit of knowledge and understanding should be the guiding light of humanity. And that's something we should all strive for, regardless of our physical limitations or personal beliefs. So, thank you, Stephen Hawking, for showing us that anything is possible if you dare to dream big and work hard to make those dreams a reality. Now leave us a comment with your opinion. Do you agree with Hawking's views on religion? And remember to hit the subscribe button to receive notifications of our next videos. See you next time.